rehearsing and nursing a part. We know every part by heart. Overture, curtain lights, this is it. We'll hit the heights, and oh, what heights we'll hit. On with the show, this is it.
Hey, we're back. I'm Goose.
I'm Logan.
This is On With the Show, and as we kind of teased in our previous segment, we're going to talk about Warner Brothers and
their whole situation with the DC.
The DCU, which is interesting. Apparently, I guess Jason Momoa, who currently plays
Aquaman,
he came out of talks or a meeting with Peter and James, and basically has signed on 4 more years to Warner Brothers, and is very excited in being signed for 4 more years. The question is what's he being signed on for? Because he couldn't say.
When I had heard that, I was just expecting 4 more years. They're probably going to make a couple more Aquaman or Justice League things. Because he's already been playing Aquaman for, what, about 5 years?
5 years, yeah. He signed a 4-year contract to play Aquaman. That contract was coming to a close, and he signed on 4 more years. But it's unclear, and Jason Momoa couldn't say anything. He was excited that he was able to sign on with 4 more years with Warner Bros., but he couldn't say for what, because James Gunn is going to be the one to announce it at the end of January. Well, what's today's date? It's the 26th?
Yeah, so it should be just in
the next few days.
A couple days.
Yeah. So rumors, the 2 things that they're talking about is that they've re-signed him to play Aquaman for more films, or he's coming in to play Lobo. Now, Lobo is a popular, I would say, kind of second-tier DCU character, but he's very popular. He has a cult following. He is a bounty hunter. He's a space, and if you look at pictures of Lobo, you look at art of Lobo, and you look at Jason Momoa, you're like,
you can see how
he would
be able to play. But the only thing that wouldn't make sense is it wouldn't make sense to have one actor go from playing Aquaman, a hero, to Lobo,
unless
a villain. Unless it's like, I don't know, they do a lot of makeup to where it's like you can't see that it's Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make sense as far as consistency to have him playing both sides,
Right. It would be interesting. I mean, like I said, we'll have to see how it works out as far as, what direction they're going. But here are some of the things that they've basically have said. Like we said in the last segment, they've pretty much have decided that all the commitments that were made under the old regime, they're finishing with, which means they're going to be done with, which means they're going to put out Shazam 2. They're going to be putting out Aquaman 2. And I think they have one other film I think they had slated, but I can't remember what it was. But I can't remember either. Well, they're also going to release Flash. That's the other thing. They're going to release Flash, and they say that this Flash movie is kind of key because it's going to be the kind of like the flashpoint of the series. In other words, what they could probably think of what they're doing is they'll do something similar to Flashpoint, to where they can introduce a new Aquaman, a new Wonder Woman, a new Bat. Yeah, I couldn't believe, after our last podcast, the very next day, DC announced they're looking for another Batman. And I said, you already have Batman.
Yeah, you already have Robert Pattinson.
Who's not that old. He's not that old. Apparently, they want to go in a younger direction.
Oh, so they're going to go like what they did with the cartoon series.
Right. They want to
where it was like 20-something.
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne. But then it's like, who are they going to go for? I'm trying to think of all the actors they could bring into play.
Yeah. They have in a lot of post-credit scenes that they had done for upcoming films, like with Shazam 2 and Flash and Aquaman 2, like with Henry Cavill and with Gal Gadot, they've all been cut out or edited. re-edited. They because the idea is right now that they've also, from what I hear, have canceled a Wonder Woman 3 film. They've canceled it. They've which. But that doesn't mean that Gal Gadot is no longer playing Wonder Woman, especially if they can't find anybody else to play Wonder Woman. And so the idea, some of the things that is being rumored, is that they're going to use this Flash film as a way to introduce like Flashpoint. So that way, when Barry Allen goes through the Flashpoint and he comes back, it's also plausible that everybody he once knew as Superman and Batman and will all be different.
Okay.
Because he will have changed time. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting.
You asked about the Batgirl movie. Aside from it being, from what I hear, just total trash.
I was just curious because it's like if they're going to go ahead and redo or release Flash, why wouldn't they do that with Batgirl?
I guess apparently the idea was when it did not perform well, they're like, and that was the starting point of them just
completely
reworking everything. Rumors are that Michael Keaton's Batman makes an appearance in the Flash, which I think would be interesting. They actually had a Supergirl movie in the works in pre-production that they immediately canceled when
James Gunn.
James Gunn. I'm thinking back to my early TV years when James Gunn and Peter Safran took over. Like, yep, scratch it. And I think that what they want to do is kind of just do this nice soft reboot. There's even they went back to an episode, a TV episode of The Flash, where Ezra Miller made an appearance as the Flash, and he was a Flash from another Earth. And apparently, they're going to use that kind of concept of, hey, we can probably be able to do something like this to do the soft reboot.
Well, that would be interesting if they did, in fact, do that. And then they could, I don't know, do the reverse, where it's like they do Ezra Miller for the Flash, and then do that Flashpoint deal, and then now it's
Grant Gustin.
I was like, what's his name?
Which would be really interesting. I mean, because
he's already been playing Flash for what? Come on,
6-7 years, I think. And he would be an easy fit because people are already
familiar with him. People already like him as the Flash.
You know, but again, a lot of the rumors are flying around that no, they want to go for somebody younger. And I'm still sticking with Joe Keery because I think he fits. You know, comically he fits. He's younger. I think he would be an easy addition to put in that spot. So it basically helps Warner Brothers in a way where they're able to now just kind of like now we can slide in get rid of Ezra Miller and put in somebody else, and they can keep Shazam 2 and they can keep Aquaman 2, but they're going to end them right there. As a matter of fact, Zachary Miller is still kind of like he doesn't know what is going on or what's in the air for as far as Shazam after Shazam 2.
Zachary Levi?
What did I say?
Zachary Miller?
Zachary. I got this, for some reason I got Miller in my brain.
I was like, who the hell is Zachary Miller?
I need a beer. It's Miller time. Yeah, Zachary Levi, he's still up in the air. He's not sure what's going to happen after Shazam 2, which it brings up an interesting fact because they brought up Black Adam. They said the Black Adam movie, no more Black Adam. Done. God.
Which I still got to watch. I have not seen it yet. I've heard mixed reviews. I heard you enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it.
I've heard a lot of people who didn't.
I enjoyed it, but I think some of the CGI was a little wonky in areas. And I kind of felt that, personally, I felt Dwayne Johnson was a little stiff. I think he's real monotone in his delivery as as Black Adam.
It's kind of the thing with the Rock, where it's like you don't have to really act to get the money because you're the Rock. You don't have to do anything except be the Rock.
Yeah,
and
but
you're already going to get all these roles and money and.
yeah, but look at some of his previous work. Look at some of his previous work where Jumanji, when he played
Jumanji was really
which was
good.
hysterical because he was put in a position to really be funny, and it just really worked, and he showed his comical side. In this, it just felt like
He wasn't even trying.
I wouldn't say he wasn't trying. It was almost like he had this idea that this is what the character is going to be, and I'm going to be brooding, and I'm going to be mean, and I'm going to be
One note.
and it's like the only time you felt any emotion from him is when he talked about his son. That was it. And I was like, even when he went to deliver the one, tell him the man in black sent you. It was so flat that the joke didn't even work. And so I'm kind of, I don't know how to explain it. It was like you had this great opportunity, and again, Dwayne Johnson was going to make this whole franchise out of Black Adam, which again, Black Adam is a really good character for DC, but he's not someone that anybody runs to when it comes to, we got to go see that Black Adam movie. Black Adam's a movie where it's kind of like Black Panther. Where everybody went and saw Black Panther because, oh my gosh, it's Black Panther. It's the first African American, MCU superhero, and that was an amazing because, because of all the work they put into it. It just feels like you go and you do Black Adam, and it's kind of and he's kind of like one of those second tier characters.
Where it's like it's not a character you can bank on like Superman, Batman. Everybody knows that, but it's like Black Adam. You already need a prior knowledge of DC and comics to know who Black Adam even is. So it's going into it. It already had that going against it. That you're going. It's more of a niche character. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like exactly you're not gonna make a movie on Polka Dot Man because nobody knows who Polka Dot Man.
Polka Dot.
I would love that.
Polka Dot
Man was one of the highlights of the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, he was actually pretty good.
But it's like that's just an example of a character you can't really make a movie on because it's not going to be marketable to a big audience.
Well, if you think about it, I mean, we're coming up on a break pretty quick. But if you think about it, I mean, look at some of the Batman's rogue gallery. Who are the top tier villains?
Well, the Joker. The Riddler. Penguin.
Kind of. He's kind of like right near there. Yeah.
Who else? Two-Face. Bane.
Scarecrow. And Catwoman. That's about it. You see them like, he's going after. I mean, any of these lower tier,
Oh, and Mr. Freeze.
Mr. Freeze was really cool.
Let's kick some ice.
I mean, you really see Batman going after the Calendar Man. No.
Wait, is that a real thing?
That's a real character.
Calendar Man? Wow.
That's a real character. Yeah, that's a real character. But the top tier, Riddler,
Joker, Riddler, Catwoman,
and then you kind of go down like to Penguin, Two-Face, and Poison Ivy, and it kind of has a tier. Everybody, so it's the same thing. Why do you think Joker did so well with Joaquin Phoenix? Because everybody knows Joker.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody knows Joker. It's like, we want to see that Joker movie because everybody knows Joker, and they're like, we want to see how this works out.
Okay, DC, hear us out. Calendar Man. I want to see it. It's going to make bank.
Here's what honest to God, here's where I want to throw this in, okay? And I know this sounds crazy, but let me just hear me out here. What I want to see is they keep Robert Pattinson as Batman, the Batman. I want to see them somehow have him in the same world with Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. See where I'm getting at?
Bringing all these people who were brought in where they weren't really tied into DC.
Yeah.
They were just like, I don't know, projects of their own. I don't know how to say it, but people who were brought in they weren't meant to be tied into the universe, but then bringing them into that universe because their movies were individually so successful. And
seriously, just to be all serious, seriously, the Batman, Robert Pattinson's The Batman, was really good. It was well done.
So, then if we're going on this, are they going to keep Paul Dano as Riddler? Yes. Good, because he's awesome.
And keep Colin Farrell as the Penguin. Because you've set up that
they can make a whole universe off
because you've set up you've already set this. You've already set this up. You don't need to go out looking for a Batman. You don't even need to do a little origin story. It's done.
Exactly.
They're looking for another Superman, and they're going to do it where he was kind of younger, but they don't have to go into an origin story. Thank you, because we don't need to see another origin story of Superman. We don't need to see another origin story of Spider-Man. It's like we know if we're
exactly. Everybody's familiar with how Spider-Man became Spider-Man.
Yeah. And we all know how Batman became Batman and how Superman became Superman and all this other stuff. So you don't need to bring this all in. Well, they need to know what's going on. No, we don't. We've already figured it out. We're not stupid. So keep Robert Pattinson as Batman and
keep Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker, as well as the other ones you mentioned, Colin Farrell, Paul Dano.
Yeah, and then bring them into the DCU universe that you want to build.
Oh, and Zoe Saldana?
Zoe Saldana, yep, as Catwoman. And then my advice would also keep Gal Gadot, because I don't think you're going to find anybody other that's better than Gal Gadot.
It's not Saldana. Kravitz?
Zoe Kravitz? Zoe Kravitz was the one.
I was like, not Saldana. That's Gamora. I was like, it's not her name. What is it?
Zoe Kravitz.
Yes,
but keep Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. Because you can if you're going to do the Flashpoint thing, you can kind of keep her in that loop, and she's probably better than anybody else you can find.
Plus, she's had the best movies out of the DC bunch
that have already been put out, and then just go from there. And then be very careful when you put your villains together. If you're going to find someone to play Lex Luthor, I don't know. Have it be somebody that's not Jesse Eisenberg.
You don't like Jesse Eisenberg?
Well, I thought he was pretty good. I thought he had a different take as Lex Luthor. I thought, but everybody was like, nah, he's more like the Riddler or something, or the Joker, the way he's acting. I kind of get it. He had his own feel for it. I didn't necessarily hate it, but I get why everybody else did. Just be, and James Gunn's not an idiot. He put the Guardians of the Galaxy together, which apparently is having their last film.
Yeah, Volume 3 is coming out
pretty soon.
Later this year.
So we're looking forward to that. But, this is going to be an interesting little reboot that they put together for the DCU, and we're kind of holding our breath as they're bidding the Zack Snyder era closed. That hopefully the James Gunn era begins,
with a bang.
And who knows? Maybe Zach Levy can come back as Shazam, which apparently they were going to have a film that was going to be Black Adam versus Shazam, and it was scrapped.
Why?
Because Black Adam went.
Because Black Adam did not do well.
Yeah, as apparently I guess there's a post-credit scene where they're all sitting in their lair, and there's an extra chair. Who is that for? It was for Black Adam. So that way, certain things are kind of just being built back together.
Overture, curtain lights, this is it, the night of nights. No more rehearsing and nursing apart. We know every card